Hello, this is Angela with Dogwood Paper Arts, and we are back today to work a little more on some window flaps. This one was made with an envelope that had a window in it. On this one, it becomes a belly band, and so it goes on the page like this. It's a rather wide belly band. I kind of wanted it that way. So it's a nice tuck under there for, you know, all kinds of things. Here's a Bo Bunny thing. But you can see how nicely it would slide under there. This is a pretty good piece. I think I'll cut this off right there and utilize that. And maybe it will go under there. On this one, to make the flip, I used an upper, and so it flips upward. So you got a belly band that flips all the way up. You have a pocket, and then you have a pretty scene in the back. So there we go. That is how I did that one. Let me close this back down. And these are just Tim Holtz cards, and this one, I'm not sure, that might be a Tim Holtz too, out of the ephemera packs. I'm not sure. So there's that one. So then I thought, well, what if we don't collect envelopes? I know a lot of people don't. They just get rid of that junk mail stuff, and that's fine. I've hung on to a good portion of them, and now I don't right now because I have a stack that is huge. And so I came down to this one, and I made this one. I made this one is just kind of it's not really an overly finished one. You can see I didn't tack it all the way down, and I didn't use the best, see the big wrinkle in there? I didn't use the best piece of plastic in there. I actually kind of made it all wrong, but I was able to squeeze a flip in there. So, so you can see that it hinges on the side of the page. You can either hinge it in here or on the other side, and then put something on the other side to cover that up. So it just fits the page top to bottom. I cut just a little bit more off of it. And then because it's a see-through, you know, maybe you'd want to put some flowers through here, or a bird, maybe a tree with a bird. I don't know. Anyway, so there is that. And that is a completely sealed front and back page from a book. And then I did this one. And this one has two windows, one upper and one lower. So I had to put some paper in there to make it look pretty in the background on both sides. But now we have this big hole that makes it a big pocket. And so, excuse me, let me put that over there. So let's see, what could we plop in there so you could see that it goes through to both sides? Here, I think I have a bend in this one, so let's use it. I need to put a tag in there is what I need to do. So here we go, we'll just plop it in upside down. Oh, let's see, yeah. That way you can see this on this end. It's not upside down, but so that just slides in there. This is a very thin piece of paper, so it doesn't slide in too well. So here you have a window down here, and a window up here. And these are made with these Sizzix thinlits. This is Tim Holtz Alterations, and it's 5 dies in the thing. There's the other one. So you could even have a little tiny hole. You could do a small, medium, and large and have them all on one side. So that is using dies to create holes. So I'm going to show you how I did that one. We'll have to pause the video in just a second. So what I did was I folded these over. I folded this page in half. Now this page is out of the Concise British Flora and Color. I got it off of eBay. So here's the name if you want to screenshot it. There are more of them on eBay. These are really tiny to fussy cut, and I'm not really fond of tiny fussy cutting, but they make great envelopes, and they make great little flips like this for a floral album. So what I want to do on this one is I'm going to cut right up there by the leaves. And we're going to start our timer over. There we go. Now this one I cut at, what was it? 5 3/4 inch. 5 3/4 of an inch. Is that right? No, that's not right. You're fooling me. There, 7 3/4. So you can see it. Let me take this out so you can see. It leaves about a 1/4 inch top and bottom on the page. So if you want smaller ones, then you just cut your paper smaller. The thing I liked about the about doing it this way was I could leave a flower down here and cut up here, or I could leave flowers up here and cut this out down here. So let's see what we have here. Ooh, nice flower up there. We're definitely going to leave that on the top. And so we'll leave this one on the bottom, I guess. But as you'll find out, to get down to an 8.5, I mean a 7 3/4, you're going to have to cut some things off. So this one might be where we have the bottom piece taken out, because we're not going to see too much of it anyway. So let's take that part off and let's make a decision. Save this. Makes a great hinge. Okay, so now we have to decide where we want our windows in this one. Do we want them on the front and the back? Do we just want them on the front? Do we just want them on the back? We could cut out a large window down here, which actually looks pretty good because it leaves this beautiful flower on top. And then over here, oh goodness, I just hate to take that one out. So I think what I might do is put this here, so maybe it will kind of look like the flowers going around this one. Now we do have the smaller one of those, if I can figure out where I tossed them. Well, I can't. Here it is. We do have a really tiny one we could use. Nothing says that a window has to be very large. So here's this one. And that is about, I'm centering it on this piece of paper right here. So you could do that and this, and have two windows on one side. Shall we try that? I mean, it will be the same as this, but it will have two windows. Or we can do an upper window, or we could do it like this. I think we'll do the upper up here, and it still leaves this beautiful flower here, and we'll make use of this piece pretty soon. I don't know what pretty soon means, but you know, we will make use of it. It'll go in the, oh, what are we going to do with this? Well, we're going to make something out of them, that's for sure. I know that. And that's why I'm trying to kind of get a nice picture in here too, because I want to be able to use that piece. I'm going to tape it. I got this tape from scrapbook.com. It is the best low tack tape. It can stick to your project, so I always put it on the inside if I can, unless it's on a paper I know it won't stick to. Now you do want to put your hand on this and keep it flat. See, if you do this, then it causes a little wrinkle in there. So you want to keep it nice and flat when you're going to do a cutout on it. Now that is very crooked, so I need to switch that up. Maybe it just looks crooked because of how I got the tape on it. I think sometimes this writing creates a field of vision problem there. Okay, so there's that one. Let's flip this over and let's put this big one down on the bottom so we can leave this beauty up there. And this is a beauty too, but we're going to remove it and use it later. So I think kind of want it centered. Kinda, yeah. That's not right, Ange. No, no, no. There we go. Okay, I am going to go run this through my Big Shot, and I will be right back. Oh, to run it through your Big Shot, make sure you open it up and then run it through. I always run mine through with the blades sticking up so it's under the paper. That's why I tape mine down. It cuts much better that way. So if you have one of these machines, that is the best way to cut something with it, is with the blades on these little dies sticking up. I noticed that this is not really centered on this, so it was bothering me, so I'm going to fix it. Now you do want this up far enough that it's not in the way of the glue on the bottom. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, so here we go. These came out of this one. Now I do want to peel it off carefully because it has been super press down on the paper, which can make it, you know, stick to the paper and cause it to rip. So just peel it off slowly if you have this kind. Sometimes there's no hope for paper. So there we go. We have this cute little picture. I'll put that up there. And then we have this one. Okay. Isn't that cute? So then the next thing I did, what do you do if you don't have any plastic? Well, if you have a package of ephemera, then you have a little bit of plastic. Like I have these new stamps that came in. So I know I have some packaging right here. Since I know I'm going to put my stamps on another organizer thing, I'm going to set that aside for right now. And first I'm going to cut off this tapey top because they're a pain. Tapey top pains me. It pains me when I can't find my scissors. Oh gosh, you know, the worst thing that could have happened was I walked out of this room with them. For some reason. Why would I do that? I don't know, but I think I did. Oh, here there. I thought I could find them better over there. I remember now. So I'm getting rid of that tapey top. Ta-da! Gone. And then what I do is I go ahead and flush cut this so that I don't have to worry about it. Make sure you pick these up if you have pets, because if they're anything like my pet. Now this one has a hole in it on both sides, so I need to be careful of using that part. This is just kind of a thin plastic. It's not like some of it that you get that are in the packages where it's super heavy duty. This one is not that paper. Okay, so where's that hole? I know I saw it. There it is. It's right there. I'm going to put a little piece of that tape on it because I don't want to... right there. I don't want to use that part. I want to throw that part away. And again, I'm going to do that on the other piece. And really, with this plastic, it might be a good idea to do this anyway, because then you can always find it. Because it kind of blends into your everything. Okay, so let's start with this one up here. I'm going to flip this over so I can see the plastic a little better. Now I want to cut this bigger than the hole. So I'm going to set it down on this side, and then I'm going to cut it on this side. If you want, you could use your little tape again and hold that down so that you can cut this better. It doesn't have to be perfect. So there's that part. Then I'm going to cut it down a little more right here because I don't need a whole lot, but I need enough because I'm going to use some see-through tape on this plastic. So let's peel that off. And I'm going to just flop this down. And I have, just so happen to have some of this, I think this is a fourth, no, maybe an eighth or a fourth, I can't remember. I'm going to run that right along the side of my plastic. Oops, and I got it a little crooked there. So hopefully that will squish out of there. Okay, now I want to break that off there. Boy, I got that on there crooked. That's going to drive me up the wall, but it's already got its plastic down. I want to break that off. I like to use these because they just tear right off. I'm going to put it down the other side. I'm going to try not to wrinkle it this time. We're going to have a wrinkle window. Okay, and then I'm going to put it right up here. I'm still going to use glue. Near the window, because now this one is cut kind of crooked, so I have to make sure I shift my tape to a crooked, because you don't want your tape sticking out around the plastic. That's what I'm trying to say. So see, my window is a little crooked there. That's okay. It's not going to hurt anything. Nobody's going to see it on the inside here. So we're going to put this right in here. Okay? So the easiest way to get this tape off is make sure it's on there very good. And before you do that, if you ink, now is the time to ink the inside of this window. I'm going to get ground espresso, distress ink. It's a little darker than a lot of the other ones. Sometimes I really like the dark ones. I just think that they show quite a bit of the, where we want things to be seen. I'm going to go ahead and ink this one all up. And I'm going to ink the edge. Something else you could do on these is you could cut the corners round, or you could do some other cut on them. You could take your Sizzix thing here, take your smaller one, and you can run this back through with these little things on it, and it will give that little cut there. Lots of things you can do. You don't have to utilize those how they recommend you use them. You can utilize them however you would like. So I would have inked this up beforehand, but we just cut it open. I guess I could pause. I could give pause. So let's peel this off. Now the easy one is that, of course. And then we have that. And then we have that. Now that you have that all peeled and ready to go, just set it there. Don't set it tape side down. Please. It'll be stuck. I am going to go around this, hopefully, with just a light touch of glue. Now, I want pretty close to the edge, but I don't want so much that it's going to smear all over the plastic. Watch, it looks like I might have too much, but I use the tip to spread a lot of it. Okay, now start top or bottom, but not both. Make sure your tape is on each side of your window and that it's not going to show. And there we are. Now, I did, like I told you originally, I did cause a wrinkle in this one. Now, go around and push your glue so that it's, you know, not all squishing out into the center, but it's squishing out onto there. Now come in and clean up any glue that did squish out of there. These windows, plastic windows, are easy to clean with a little bit of spray a little Windex on a piece of cloth, or just use a little bit of water. They really do clean right up. Of course, then you set them back down and they dirty right back up too. Okay, so we have that one. Now let's take our other one. And I don't know if this will fit there. See, it really doesn't fit. So this one is not going to work for me. Where's the other one? Okay, this one will. So let's go ahead and tape this down. We need it right about here. Let's make sure the top is okay. And then we only have to cut the bottom and this side. So I'm just cutting along there. I really don't like that wrinkle that's up there, so I'm going to have to be sure and, you know. And you can leave this one as long as you want. We're going to put a little piece of paper in here anyway. But if you don't want to have a whole bunch of plastic in there, just go ahead and trim it off. You can save these. I have a box that I put them in so that next time I need a piece of plastic, I can grab one. And with the tape left on these, I know these two have a problem, but I can use the other part. Now, if it gets really murky and stuff, I don't use them, or wrinkly, I don't use them. So let me tape around this and get it put on, and then I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Both windows are now glued in place. I do need to get a little glue off of there. I'll probably have to do that when we're done. So now we have a lower window and an upper window. And the next thing we need to do is to put a hinge in here. Now this one is going to be too short for this length of pocket. We don't need to put it in right now, but we don't want to forget. So keep this in mind. The next thing we need to do is this. I have a piece of paper that I've cut. This one is going to go right in here. And I'm going to put it clear up to the top. And the reason we're doing this is so that when you stick your tag in, it doesn't get caught up on this little lip here that's created with the tape and the plastic. It is enough to catch your items as they come in. So we want to cover that part up. I'm just going to use glue for this part. I do want to get my glue clear up to the edge and clear down to the bottom. You don't want this to cover your window at all, or it will be seen as a little owie there. So let's put this one in. Now you want to make sure that it goes clear to the top, but it doesn't cross over this line right there. So let me see where that is. It's right there. There. And I tried to cut it smaller than this size So it would just fit neatly in here. Now on the upper, when the window's on the lower portion, you don't need to put any more paper on here unless you left your tape sticking out. Then you'll need to cover the tape, otherwise everything will get taped in down there. So on this side, I have cut one for the base, right here, and one for the very top. This one does the same thing. It allows you to put things into the pocket without getting caught up right here at the top. But on the bottom, you need it not to protect you from getting caught on anything. It's so that this window has something behind it besides the words. Okay, so I'm going to put in the bottom one first. You don't need to ink these or anything. These are just one, protecting the tags from getting caught and bent and not fitting in the pockets, and two for I don't remember what I was going to say. I'm sorry. All right, there's that one. And the little one, come here, little one. So, say a little prayer or send good energy towards my daughter in Kansas. Her dog just last night had not been feeling good. He's had seizures in the past. And anyway, he just fell over and died last night. And it was pretty traumatic for the whole family. They're all in a great shock. They lost one of their other dogs in November due to age. And then this one just died. He had had seizures in the past. Anyway, if you guys could just send some good energy and prayers her way, that would be wonderful. I'd sure appreciate it. Would mean a lot to me. So, anyway, on this pocket, I was gonna try not to talk about the hurts. I'm going to use this piece of extra paper. Let me cut this off. How long do I need it? How long do you have to be? You have to be this long. I'm just marking it by measuring it right on the doodad. It's the doodad. Don't know if I got it in the right spot. No, it's right down there. Oh no. Well, it's going to be a little short. And then I'm going to cut this at 1 inch. So I'm going to line that up and then put my fingers on it. Goofy me. Leave it to me to make it too short. Oh no. Well, you know what just happened. I just threw it over there. Oh, no. Right here. There it is. Kind of blended in with the light on it. And then you're going to fold this. It depends on... You'll have to figure out which way you want to fold this. If this is the front and you want this piece showing on the inside of your page, then you'll need to fold it this way. You'll glue this on this side. This doesn't have to be perfectly straight. It makes it nicer if it is, but hey, we do what we can. Normally I would cut these at an angle, but because I'm not making it clear to each end, I'm just going to center it. I'm not going to worry about it. So if I want this to go on this side of the page, I'm going to have to hinge it like this, so this shows. And I don't think I have any that hinge on that side yet. But it doesn't matter. I mean, you can still hinge them either way. I think I like the small one on top. So I'm going to put this in and hinge it that way. If you get it wrong, all you have to do is flip this and hinge it. Bend the hinge the other way. Easy peasy. Okay. Just going to put that down there. And I don't really know how many minutes we've been here because I did not stop my timer when I paused the camera. So we don't really know, do we? It wasn't just that either. I had gotten a phone call just as I paused the camera. And so I was on the phone for a little bit. There we go. Now you do want to clean your windows before you close this up. So hold them up to the light and make sure that the inside is clean. You'll be able to get to the outside, so that's not going to be your problem. It's this inside part that you're not going to be able to clean. Those must be on the outside. Okay, so now we have it this way. Okay, so let's put our thumb notch up here. I think I want it on both sides this time. If you want, you can just put it on one side. This is a good side if this is the inside and you just want the outside to show, but I think on this one I'll just put it on both. I'm guesstimating, or eyeballing it as we call it here, where I'm going to put that. And I'll come over here, do the same thing. And now, because we've kind of finished that inside, we have a little decoration there. And it's decorated there and here. So now let's close up our pocket. Don't glue the top closed. Just come down here to the bottom. A little bit of glue. There we go. Close it. And hinge it all down. Or glue it all down. There you go. And you have a beautifully finished pocket that opens and closes. And now, like I said, if you want this to be on the other side, all you have to do is bend your hinge back the other direction. If you're going to cover your hinge anyway, it wouldn't matter if it was this side or if it went this way. So it can go in your pocket either way. So there is that one. So now we have this as just a hinge flap. And you could actually make two of these. And if you made two, what if you made two of the same, half the page and half the page like a door, and then it would open. This would be an extra page in the book, and this would be a flap. Ooh, I like that idea. So that will be another project. So anyway, that's how you make a window flip for your journal if you don't have envelopes with windows. So next time we will make one with another way. What if you don't have window envelopes? What if you don't have die cuts? How are we going to make one then? Well, let's think about that. I mean, you could use, you could trace around something. You could use a hole punch if you have that. The problem with hole punches is what if they don't reach all the way over? Well, I have some solutions for that too. So, anyway, join me next time when we do fun window pockets, and I'll come up with something new. Okay, thanks for joining me today, and don't forget, make your tag that's going to go inside of your window. I didn't show you what that would look like, did I? Woohoo! Let's put this in there. So there it is. And there it is. And we're going to have to come up with a project for all of these fun things that we have now. They can be pockets. They can be decorative elements in a journal, like this. Especially if you're making a floral journal. On that big one, let's see, this one. Is this the one that goes in there? Look at this. You could figure right out where that goes. And when this window door is closed, there is the rest of the picture, and then you open it, and there it is. I love that idea. I think that is very cool. So I'm going to keep this one with this piece. I'm going to give it a little clippity, a clippity clop, so I don't forget. There. I definitely want to keep that idea. I don't want to put that over the window. I'm going to clamp it right up here on top. Okay, so that one is together. But otherwise, you know, there's a lot of places you could use this, especially if you go around these and darken them up pretty good. Or you could cut, if you have the dies, you could cut another larger die to put behind this to highlight its, let me show you. Let's say this one. You could put this behind it, even the paper. Oh, I like that. I think that looks cool. Perfect, look at that. I love that. And then you could do the same here. Say you want to put that one on a page. Wouldn't that be pretty? And then you could just put it in as a tuck spot if you put firm paper behind it, or just as a decorative element. It looks really nice. Let's see about this one. Yeah. Let's look at this one. Oh yeah, I like that one better because it has the flower right in the middle. And I just think that that looks so pretty with the words around it. So there's all kinds of things you could do. So save your little punch outs when they're a good size like this. And, you know, there's a lot you can do with them. So that's all I have for today on this. And next time when we do windows, we will see what we can do without dies. These are called dies. Or, you know, then I don't know what to do if we don't have plastic. I have to think about that one. So next time, I will see you, and I hope you'll join me. And I hope you all have a great day. Thank you so much. And oh, hello all my new subscribers. I am so glad you're all here with me. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited. And it's wonderful for me. And thank you to all of my regular subscribers. And thank you for passing my name along to other people. And I just love you guys all so much. It's just so exciting for me. And anyway, I just want to say thank you. I hope you all have a great day, and I will see you tomorrow.